In early May 1940, the war in Western Europe changed with brutal speed. After months of uneasy calm, known as the Phony War, the German Wehrmacht launched Fall Gelb Case Yellow, and on 10 May, their armored columns, backed by air power, swept through the Netherlands, Luxembourg, and Belgium. A daring thrust through the Ardennes, a region the Allies had judged impassable for tanks, bypassed the Maginot Line and drove north to the Channel coast. By 20 May, German spearheads reached the sea, and a vast pocket formed around Dunkirk. British, French, and Belgian units found themselves hemmed in, trapped between the sea and an advancing enemy. As German armor pressed and the Luftwaffe swarmed overhead, the Allied commanders faced a grim choice. The route of retreat was closing. The only hope was evacuation across the Channel. On 24 May, an order to halt German tanks, its causes still debated, gave the Allies a crucial, unwanted reprieve. In Dover, Vice Admiral Bertram Ramsay set Operation Dynamo in motion. Every available vessel, from destroyer to fishing smack, was to cross the Channel and pull the army off the sand. By 26 May, tens of thousands of soldiers were arriving at Dunkirk's beaches to find not piers and pontoons, but a wasteland of wrecked vehicles, burning oil tanks, and open sand. The harbor was crippled, and the sea itself had become a line of fire. German dive bombers and medium bombers made the beaches their hunting ground. The Luftwaffe had the advantage of numbers and range, while RAF pilots fought desperately to blunt the onslaught and to shield the fragile convoys of rescue craft. The Allied defense fashioned a perimeter around Dunkirk. French troops held the western sectors, the British the east, stretching across canals, marshes, and ruined towns. Rearguard actions were ferocious, and costly units fought street to street, held bridges and delayed armor in muddy fields so that thousands might reach the coast. The Belgian collapse on 28 May widened a gap and intensified the pressure, but flooded ground and canal networks, together with stubborn Allied resistance, slowed the German advance enough for evacuation to continue. The evacuation itself was an improvised ballet under fire. Large warships could not approach the shallow shore, so soldiers queued along the mole, waded into the surf with rifles raised, or boarded small boats that ferried them to destroyers waiting offshore. The little ships, ferries, fishing boats, pleasure craft, piloted by civilian hands, threaded smoke and explosive splashes to bring men from beach to ship. On 31 May, at the evacuation's peak, more than 68,000 men were taken off in a single day. By 4 June, despite storms of bombs, artillery, and sheer exhaustion, Operation Dynamo had rescued roughly 338,000 Allied troops. The cost was stark. Tens of thousands of vehicles, guns, and tanks were abandoned. Hundreds of ships were damaged or lost. Many men were killed or wounded on the beaches or in transit. Atrocities such as the Wormhout massacre stained the episode, and civilians in Dunkirk suffered heavily under bombardment. Yet the human survival was the decisive fact. Manpower preserved when Britain most needed it. The Dunkirk Spirit entered the lexicon, an image of improvised courage, of fishermen and naval officers, chaplains and stretcher-bearers, pilots and riflemen, all playing parts in a desperate, sprawling rescue. Strategically, the evacuation was a retreat. Politically and morally, it bought Britain time, cohesion, and the narrative of resistance that Winston Churchill would harness in the months ahead. Dunkirk was not the end of the story of 1940, but it was one of its most defining moments. A bitter withdrawal wrapped in stubborn hope. A mass of exhausted, grateful men returning to a nation suddenly alone, but still standing. The beaches would be reclaimed by the sea and the elements, but the memory of those 9 days of smoke over sand, of little boats in a smothering dawn, of men wading into cold surf to gamble on survival, remains a testament to endurance when the world seemed ready to fall.